Welcome back. It's preview Wednesday evening's Premier League match between Crystal Palace and Newcastle United. Pascal start with the home side. Pardew's good form continued with a 1-0 win at Leicester last time.
Yeah, it's now 5 wins in 6 in all competitions since he took over. And obviously, it was a really good, impressive win considering they lost at home to Everton last week. Obviously, the game against Everton, they dominated that for large parts. Had much more shots than Everton, but couldn't get the goal after conceding early. And obviously going to Leicester, bottom team in the league. Palace and Pardew especially would have thought, this is a game we want to win. But Leicester, at home they wouldn't have made it easy. But they came through 1-0 in the end, didn't concede, which is always impressive. Clean sheet on the road, and obviously Joe Ledley getting the goal. Not the prettiest of goals, but he stuck it away well. And you want to see goals from that, like goals coming from your midfielders, goals coming from all over the park, and decent win for them. Obviously up to 13th in the table, which is a solid position for them. And obviously Pardew, like you said, he's been great since taking over.
I think it's five wins from 6 games since Pardew took over, obviously including the cup game against Dover, which is obviously very impressive. And I think he's got options up front now. I think that makes a big difference, doesn't it? It'd be interesting to see what he does for this particular game. I think Dwight Gale started up front against Leicester, and he's got options, obviously Sonogo on the bench and players like that. I think Sancho Omiobi as well. Be interested whether he gets a start at some point. Shamak's injured at the moment, but Fraser Campbell can't get a game at the minute, and suddenly he's got players up front. Zaha coming in on the permanent deal as well. Suddenly he's got players, I think, who can stretch teams, can't he, and score goals. I think that was a problem when Neil Warnock was there. He said he didn't have enough players who could really sort of threaten, could he score goals or anything like that. So he's got options up front, and he's looking at this game. Newcastle obviously sits 13th in the table, Palace, and be hoping for another win.
Definitely. You mentioned Amiobi. Obviously, it'd be interesting to see if he plays here against his boyhood club. Obviously, it'd be really interesting to see if he comes off the bench because he didn't play, did he, against Leicester? But Palace, like I say, 13th in the table. They're 6 points above the bottom 3, so they're pretty safe at the moment, given Pardew's great recent form. But they've got some tough games coming up. Obviously, host Newcastle here, and they really want to win this game because they then host Liverpool in the FA Cup, and obviously Pardew fancy a decent run in the Cup as well. But then they play Arsenal, West Ham, Southampton in the next 3 league games after this one, so it does get more difficult for them. So Pardew will really be targeting this one as a must-win game.
Moving on to Newcastle, last time out, 1-1 draw at Stoke against home to Stoke. Sorry, it wasn't the best result. It was a bit of a nothing game, wasn't it? Really, we mentioned it. It was a bit bitty. There's not too much in it. I think Jack Colback scored the goal, and he's been really good this season, hasn't he? For obviously, Remy Cobella's had a bit of form lately, and Moussa Sissoko, I think, got the assist, didn't he? So keeping him in January is obviously very important. And their home form's been okay. Away form, 1-3, drawn 3, lost 6. Not been too impressive, but they're fine, I think, in terms of relegation. But it depends whether they've got hopes to push into the top half of the table, whether they're just going to finish in the bottom half, and we should see what they do in the summer as well. Because obviously the fans will want them to reinvest some of the money they've made.
Obviously, some of that might be reinvested in a new manager. Obviously, John Carver, a decent point there. I think if they'd beaten Stoke there, it would have taken them above Stoke into the top half, and obviously the way they conceded, late on that Peter Crouch header, that would have been disappointing. But I think a point's not too bad. They are 11th in the table. They're 11 points above the bottom 3, so they're okay at the moment. But I said about Palace having a tough run of form, but Newcastle, they've got some tough fixtures as well. They play City, United, Everton, Arsenal in 4 of the next 5, so it does get difficult for them, like it does for Palace. So I think I said the Palace will be targeting this as a must-win, but so will Newcastle. And obviously there's the Pardew factor as well. He's been doing so well at Palace since he left Newcastle. And if Pardew wins this game, he will close to within 2 points of Newcastle. And obviously, if Pardew can take Palace above Newcastle, the club he left, that would be a pretty impressive achievement from him.
So it's a massive game for Pardew, obviously, in both sets of supporters in terms of the leagues as well. So what's your score prediction for this one?
Yeah, I'm actually going to back Palace here. I think the Pardew factor, he's been doing really well of late. They'll be disappointed that they lost their last home game against Everton, and Selhurst Park, especially a night-time game as well. It should be a great atmosphere there. I'm just going to back them to win it 3-1.
3-1. Lots of goals. I'm actually going to go Palace as well, but I think it'll be tight. I'm just going to go 1-0. I can see Palace winning this game. Thanks for joining us.